What's up, everyone? Dylan here, and today I'm going to talk about the AI apocalypse and should we stop it. So, gotta take these glasses off for that. But like, comment, share, subscribe below, and let's get into the topic. So, I just received an email from a friend about the AI apocalypse and how we should call our congressmen to get them to shut this down. And I've talked about this before. I've talked to made a few videos about AI and the implications of it and the promise, but also the dangers of it. And I am by no means an AI expert, but I've read a few books. I've watched my fair share of science fiction movies, and I got opinion on things. So I'm making videos on the internet. So here's what I think about this, and I'll give you some different examples and scenarios. I think it's too late. I think it's too late, and it's been too late for a while. Like, I don't think now is necessarily the time that we can shut it down. I think it's been something that's been in motion for years, and we're just now seeing something come to the surface, and there is a lot more that's going to rise to the surface and a lot more impact in the future. Because the problem with it now is it's out there, at least with the current AI systems. And the route they can go are one of two main routes. And of course there's more, but and the one route is the systems are out there, and so people can copy these systems. They can copy these AI, whatever they call it, like whatever the processing behind the AI is, whatever the algorithms there. Someone can build they can build systems to basically ask one AI questions and extract how it's getting those answers and create their own one from that. So that's there, and it's possible for people to do. So if one country shuts it down, then another one can just pick it back up, right? And I think that's going to continue to happen. It seems unlikely that will stop, because it is a very powerful tool. If you've ever used any of these AI systems, they're incredibly powerful, wildly powerful, and you can have an amazing positive impact, but you can also have a negative impact. They can use, for like any tool, they can use for good or evil, because tools are amoral, and of course, good and evil is subjective to the view of the person that's using it or it's being used on. So, anyways, I think that's likely going to happen. And with AI, the AI future, I think a couple things can happen. It's like perhaps what we have now, we're calling AI, we think it will be, but perhaps there's some sort of barrier, some sort of fundamental roadblock that will prevent some of these programs from really obtaining sentience and really becoming super intelligent. Perhaps that's not possible, or it's way far out in the future, and it's not something that will happen in the short term, and that there'll be some limiting factor that will get in the way, that will slow the progress of this, or basically stall the progress for decades. And that is a possibility. And I think that the reason why is because we don't know how one of these systems will break through and be a super intelligent AI. We're not really sure how or if that's even possible. People hypothesize that is possible and it will happen, but we aren't completely sure that how that'll go and if it will happen. So it's entirely likely, just like we haven't found anyone else in the universe yet that we know of, right? If you're into the conspiracies, they say that we have. But assuming that the mainstream knowledge on this is accurate, we haven't found aliens, okay? We haven't been contacted by any other sentient life in the universe and things like that. And I forget what the barrier is. And I know there's an equation called the Drake equation, which kind of estimates based on probabilities how much intelligent life could be out there. But then there's I forget what it is, but it's basically a barrier that is like perhaps there's none because it all destroys itself after a certain point in time. So, that's a possibility out there. But I think because we haven't experienced this life elsewhere in the universe yet, hasn't come to us, that it's entirely likely that this AI, because if anything is going to do it, a super intelligent AI would probably be the thing to figure out how to travel across the universe, because it's smarter than us. It can work faster than us. It could probably do that in a shorter period of time. And because we haven't seen that yet, perhaps it's not possible for that to happen. Okay, so then anyone really complaining about or saying that we should shut it down is basically, it's like, okay, you're saying we should shut it down. You're saying we should take proactive measures to shut down this tool that can be very, very powerful, and the tool is not going to kill us, right? Are not going to gain sentience and destroy everything or destroy everything as we know it. Then, what are you worried about, right? It's just a new technological innovation that can be used for making positive change in the world, which could bring about immense happiness or immense prosperity for the societies and individuals and places that can utilize this appropriately. So that's one option. The other option is that it's going to take sentience and destroy us all, or subject us all. It be our overlord or whatnot, or it'll be powerful enough that even if it doesn't gain sentience, that it could destroy us. Like, remember I talked about that filter, that it could be that filter. It could be that catalyst that wipes humans off the map, or sends us back to the Stone Age. Okay. There's the Ancient Apocalypse show on Netflix that kind of talks about, hey, perhaps there's this massive cataclysm, at the end of the last ice age that destroyed advanced civilizations that were here that we kind of don't even realize that we're here because we didn't, they just disappeared and we were basically sent back to the Stone Age. So perhaps something like that could happen from this system, or, we're completely wiped out. Now, I hope I try to be a little more optimistic about this. And when I'm looking at these scenarios, of course, there's probably more. And of course, AI experts have debated these and all that kind of stuff. But my perspective is that it's, like I said, it's tough to put it back. It's out there. And so if one country shuts it down, then another country can just pick it up. So, like, especially if they're enemies, right? Why would the enemy of, say, the United States, why would an enemy of the United States who isn't completely subject to the United States power and pressure and all that kind of stuff, why would they stop when they could gain an advantage over the United States by developing an AI system? Okay, that's the problem with this. And that's the problem with shutting it down, is you have to make sure everyone shuts it down. Everyone in the world shuts it down. And in order to do that, you really have to have some serious threats and some serious backing for any countries that start to pursue this. That's a problem, right? Because we know, like, we don't want to go to war. We don't want to blow someone up. We don't want to threaten annihilation if people start using this technology. Because let's be serious. Like, if this is actually that big of a threat, the United States is going to actually try to develop this. They're going to try to research this. They're going to try to do that kind of stuff. Why would they stop? Why would they stop if there is a chance that another country or another nation could continue to develop this behind closed doors? And if they do, it would give them unlimited power, or give them significant power to be able to subvert the United States' control and take over and potentially even destroy the world. So I just don't see that it's stopping. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, because I think perhaps what we actually need is more innovation, more development in the AI space, and just hope it's not a complete winner take all. And just hope that having a competitive landscape of these AI programs or AI development, that they can compete against each other and check and balance each other. And I don't know how exactly that plays out unless, like, the free market is allowed to do that. Because if you create one super intelligent AI, or if it's siloed and, like, only certain nations are able to do that, the chances of them creating the best one is probably small, because typically the best organism comes out of a competitive, hostile environment, combative, hostile environment. And that constant competition, that constant pressure kind of shapes the organisms, kind of pushes them into different niches, and they kind of develop that way. And so if you just have these silos, you don't really have that competitive ecosystem to develop these different tools. And if it is going to destroy us, I think it's more likely that it'll destroy us if only one nation or a couple nations are working on it. I think it's probably less likely to destroy us if we have free market competition, because then at least there might be some checks and balances and control mechanisms that are in place because of the different AI systems that people have been investing in and working on and studying. And you might have more actual knowledge about what these programs are, how to control them, or how to manipulate them, or how to keep them from wiping everyone out. You might have more of that. And so I think that could be a very powerful thing. Or you might be able to have someone that develops a solution that prevents it from, destroying the world and everything like that, which, AI systems to check other AI systems. It kind of becomes a Schelling point where you have to develop it in order to keep up. Otherwise, you'll be completely outcompeted. So I think that is entirely possible. And I think that's probably the best way forward. And of course, I'm no expert on this, but when the cat's out of the bag, the cat's out of the bag. So either we just sit here and you can just try to avoid it, and just say no, I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to basically go the way of the Amish and completely swear off any sort of AI technology, or you can embrace it And the future is going to be what the future is going to be, and we don't really have control over that. Obviously, we want to survive. We want generations to last. We don't want the earth to be destroyed. We don't want humanity wiped out. Those are not our goals, but we don't really have control over that at this point in time. It's especially with something like AI. It's really showing us like, yes, we can do things in our daily lives to have control of the future, but sometimes there seems to be things just set in motion that you really can't stop. Like, it's there, it's happening. And so if you're really thinking about getting your congressman to, stop the development of AI, just think about, is that even an achievable outcome at this point in time? Is that seriously something that could happen? And unfortunately, I don't think at this point in time that is very practical or realistic to think that will happen, because like nothing bad has happened just yet because of AI. And unfortunately, it seems like there might have to be a major catastrophe because of AI to really rally the troops behind stopping it. And that's unfortunate, but that might have to be the reality of the situation. Like, you might have to have some sort of global AI war, right? And as terrible as that is, because it's like people don't want to buy the prevention, okay? They buy the cure. And so it just seems like we always wait. The human nature is just to wait and see what happens. And in this scenario, I know like the AI doomers or AI people are like, hey, you got to be very, very careful, because you don't know how to program this stuff. You don't know like how to solve the alignment problem just yet on AI. Like, that's a huge issue. And it's just, I don't know, as you can tell, like it's one of those things you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't in this situation. And so I think I would lean towards the more proactive, being aware, being knowledgeable about it, understanding what it is, and just prepare yourself for the future. Prepare yourself for this technology. Understand as best as possible, what it is, what it can do, and the potential. And if you can try to harness some of that in the meantime, I think I say go for it. Try to harness that technology, and then at the same time, if you're really worried about this kind of stuff, hey, start building your off-grid lifestyle. Start building that escape place. Get that ranch. Become self-sustainable and live that way, because that might be one of the ways that if things go crazy, that you are insulated from that, because you can't just hide from the world. You can't just try to shut down any new innovation or anything that scares you. And you just have to, sometimes you just have to push forward and see where it takes you, because, there's all this doom and gloom and scariness of this, but there's a lot of things in motivation and stuff that says if you want to become different or you want to achieve something else, you have to basically let the old self die and become the new version, right? Become the version that's capable of achieving the new thing. And perhaps that's what humanity needs. And perhaps this is, right, the next step in our evolution, right? Our ability to expand throughout the cosmos. Perhaps this is that step to enable that and to facilitate that. And when you think about it that way, like, that is extremely exciting. It's probably not us listening to these videos right now that are going to be able to be in that realm, but to be able to expand throughout the cosmos and learn secrets to questions or answers to questions we've been asking for thousands of years, man, that is incredible to be able to think that perhaps this is the catalyst to make that happen. And would you really want to shut the door on that? I don't know, to just preserve your own life. It's like, do you really just want to run away from everything and be scared of the whole world? Or do you want to face it head on and say, we're going to do our best, but whatever happens, happens. And so I kind of fall into that camp of, whatever happens is going to happen. And I'd rather be prepared. I'd rather be knowledgeable. I'd rather use this to my advantage and be aware of the potential dangers and pitfalls, and be as prepared as possible. And if there becomes a time where it becomes abundantly clear that we need to have a strategic, coordinated pushback against AI, I am totally open to changing my mind and joining that side. But if it becomes apparent that that's not the right situation or not the right path forward, and that it's much better to be pro AI and give it to the world, and that's the solution, then I'm going to be on board with that. And whatever happens is going to happen. And I think that's just going to be the conclusion of this. So anyways, let me know what you think about this, just to conclude this video. Let me know what you think about AI. Let me know if you think that it's going to destroy us all. Let me know if you think it's going to lead to tremendous prosperity and knowledge in the future, or if it's the next stage of human evolution. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one. And of course, if you want more resources, check the link below this video. I have a list of the different AI resources that I've used that can really help enhance your workflow, your output, and basically allow you to start building that business of one. So definitely check that out in the link below, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.